Poor Hershey.
Yeah, he's poor, all right.
Okay. Oh, we're down in the second level already. Woohoo! Let's put that. Yeah. Let's get those jars out.
Right.
And just go ahead and start putting those in.
Right.
Well, go ahead and put. Sorry.
I'm doing it.
You're gonna make yourself room if you. Hey Ian, why don't you go talk to Jake for a minute? Maybe he'll calm down.
Are you filming?
I don't know. Are we filming?
Mm-hmm.
I guess we are.
Jake's in the
bathroom.
Yeah, Jake's in the bathroom. Excuse me, sir.
You know, I think if you had 2 funnels going, you could. I mean, you know, production-wise, we could. If we had more people, we could make this go faster.
Well, yeah, you could do this in a big production, and it would
Right.
work fine. It's just.
Well, what I'm thinking here is.
Unfortunately, I have.
Right.
You know.
Limited space, limited.
Pea-sized
Right.
kitchen.
Just
Right.
stuck with me.
Oh, that's a good stuff, baby. Any day of the week.
So, I guess what I'm thinking here is, if I had 100 people in my retreat, there'd be plenty of folks, and we could just truly assembly line this.
Yes.
Oh,
On
yeah.
sets.
Yeah, and you would be doing it in gallons.
Right. Set up 8-foot tables, and
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
away you go. Well, everybody take it, have an assigned position, and like I say,
Yep.
away we go.
The only problem with assembly lining is if I'm waiting on you. Is if the
Ooh.
person in front of you slows down.
Right.
The jars have a tendency to get
Cool. Right.
But since we have to, this is already hot, and all the
Mhm.
water's hot inside, and the aluminum is already
Not
hot,
enough?
it's gonna, no. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
Yeah?
Yep.
Okay.
It's gonna take more time,
Right. Okay, let's
or
talk.
less time, excuse me, to get up to pressure.
Let's talk about storage after the fact. You know, I'm going to be storing these in a.
That's good.
I'm going to be storing these in a in a pantry way, or kind of a pantry way, but it's actually like a utility room
Mm-hmm.
that contains my washer, dryer, water heater, furnace, and a utility sink. It's our kind of like our tornado shelter room,
Right.
where I cower in fear every time there's a tornado come.
Me with you.
And you know, and I make sure that I have plenty of supplies in there already. But that's I was told I couldn't store these in the garage
You
because the
cannot.
heat extreme changes.
Yes. These have to be kept above a little above freezing. They really can't freeze.
They can't freeze.
Like storm
And-
cellar temperature.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you, and they like consistency until you open them. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Okay.
Now, in a normal house, there's going to be seasonal changes and
Right.
humidity changes, and that's okay. That's part of the reason I leave my rings on.
Mhm.
There's lots of people who can and then take their rings off as soon as the jar has vacuumed. Oh, sorry. But if you bounce that or hit the rim, or, you know, I
Right.
wouldn't trust that seal anymore. You're good?
Right. I would prefer to use the rings.
So I just leave them on.
Okay.
It's just good for, you know, and I stack lots of jars too. And all the jars really should be kept out of any kind of light.
Okay. Now, theoretically, how high can you stack jars?
Just two, really.
I'm missing a ring.
Okay. It's not like I don't have a million of them.
Okay. Okay, so you can stack them too tall, no matter whether half gallon or.
I wouldn't stack a half gallon too tall.
Okay.
There you go.
All right. Just the pints and the quarts.
Pints and quarts you can do too.
Okay.
Especially if it's not deep.
Mhm.
If it's just. I got everything.
Because I can do half gallons in that.
Yes, you can.
I've only seen half gallon jugs.
This isn't going to give us the example I was looking for. But sometimes you'll get almost to the end and your jar will only be, full to maybe half an inch or, a couple inches down. Fill it full of water.
Okay.
No,
I
no.
was
And then
thinking
label it as,
Is that enough?
yeah, that's fine.
I was thinking lunch, but
Look, we
okay.
could have.
Or keep it for lunch. I know, but it's the stability of it being in there, and I'm not going to argue.
Stability of what?
Add
anyway?
another couple of them, but
Oh,
How many did you put on the bottom?
I don't know. They all fit. They went
Okay.
around nice and neat, and one in the middle.
All right, so
let me
let's
pan over to the.
get when
panel.
you get the lid on, everything's in. On most, this is a gasketless, so it has an indicator of where your lineup should be. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Now, quick question. Somebody said we should put vinegar in the water bath to keep the jars from clouding. Is that true? Or is it necessary?
Never done it.
Okay.
I don't know anything about it. So you want to make sure that your arrow and this line up. And since this is the first time we're using this,
Mm-hmm.
and it is a metal on metal seal,
Correct.
I'm going to take olive oil and put a little bit on and wipe down the whole edge with olive oil, and then I'm going to seal it. Where did I put my arrow? Nope, one off. Okay. When you seal this down, you want to make sure that the clips are underneath the lip of these bolts. And then I look at this edge that's here, and wherever the highest edge is, which looks like it's going to be this one, that's where I start. And then you go not all the way down, you go to the opposite edge, and you start clamping it down. So just as long as they are at an opposite end, not that you tighten the lid, from one to the next like in a clockwise or whatever. You have to go
It's like putting
across.
It's like put torquing bolts on a head.
Exactly. And then you want to make sure that as you're tightening, that your seal is even all the way around. Okay. And then you want to hand tighten them to the weakest person who is going to be canning. Because somebody's got to be able to open it. Since I'm probably the weakest person in the room, I will hand tighten these. This is the gauge that we're going to be, this is the blow-off gauge, and we're going to put it at 10 pounds.
Now, do we have to get that to a rolling boil before we put that on, or steam has to come out before we put that on?
Steam has to come out before you put it on, but
Okay.
for right now, it's all right to sit there while we travel.
Okay.
And then this gauge is what we're going to be using, and we're going to be at 10 pounds of pressure. And even though we're at 824 feet,
Close enough to a grain.
it's close enough to 1,000 that I like to put it up to 11 just for good measure. So I'm going to let one of you carry it outside,
All right.
and we'll put it on the fire.
All right. Oh my God! Thank God I did not get the 941.
Told you. It's really heavy. Let me get it in front of you.
It'll definitely it'll
Jake, go.
put you to the test as
Go.
far as
Percy,
bench
go.
pressing
Percy,
here.
Go. Percy, out of the way.
Terminator.
Percy, go.
Look out there, big dog.
Now, at this point, I got to tell you, this thing probably weighs 50, 60 pounds.
I need it right in the middle.
Huh? Oh,
It's open. Just turn the valve on.
be careful, don't get yourself in frame.
There you go.
At this point, this rig they have set up is probably commercially available You know, it's probably commercially available
There we
somewhere.
go. You got that? Okay, yeah.
This
Leave
is
that
the
in your pocket.
I am. This is the 921, and it's a big one. They got a 931 and they got a 941. The 941 is so big it can do 14 quart jars at a time if you can keep up with it. I suppose if you had a setup going with a lot of 8-foot tables and an assembly line and one of these going, one of these big burner units going, where you didn't have to lift it all the time, it would be pretty cool, you know. It would be very cool, but
It's
if
too
you have
heavy.
if you have to load this on and off the stove in your house, that could be a problem, because that thing weighs about 60 pounds and it is not cold.
Those bigger ones are made for dedicated burners.
Right.
You know, they don't move.
Okay. Enough said about that. In my opinion, I mean, from what I've heard and all the research I've heard, All American is the best one they make. This is their most popular seller. This is not an All American canner commercial, but you know, if you're gonna buy one of these, you could go to Walmart and get a Presto or China Chins, or you could get a high quality unit with a lifetime guarantee and never have a problem. From the time they ship you this to the very time you get it, from the box they ship it to you in, which is triple wall cardboard, and the you know, the packaging is very solid. You get this giant piece of aluminum cast on and machined aluminum, you notice the quality. So I can't say that that's the same for the ones I've seen at Wally World. So right now what we're waiting on is the steam to come up out of this hole here.
I wouldn't put my finger there.
I just have to now.
Okay.
There's gonna be a steam.
I have a first aid kit in the
There's
house.
gonna be a steam come up out of this little hole. At that point is when you put the weight on,
It's in your pocket.
this weight, and this weight's measured. It has 3 holes in it, but it also has 5, 10, 15, and that dictates your pounds of pressure, which correlates to a heat setting. I think 15 is like 240 degrees. Well over the 212 at boiling. You know, that dictates your heat setting as well. So we also have a pressure gauge on here, because some of them like to be funny and go to like 11 pounds of pressure. You know, so
It does depend on how high you are.
Okay, right. Sea level changes. So I'm going to keep this handy here in my pocket, and we're going to go inside and wait for steam to start coming up out of this hole. When we see that steam coming up out of this hole, you'll rejoin us, and we'll put the weight on and start the timer. Okay?
We'll start the timer when it gets to 11 pounds.
Oh, I stand corrected by the boss.
You have to wait till it gets up to the pounds of pressure that you need, then you start your timer. And our timer is 90 minutes today.
90 minutes, okay. So, when we put the weight on, the pressure comes up to 10 or 11?
10 or 11, that's fine.
10 or 11 pounds. We'll put the weight on,
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll put the weight on.
No, we'll put the weight on when we
Okay.
see steam.
Uh-huh.
Then when it gets up to 10 or 11 pounds, that's when we start the timer.
Okay. I'm a guy, and you know I didn't read the instructions. Okay?
Real men don't.
Because you know what? I knew I was going to come over here and be shown by an expert. So, you know, that's why this is really on film, is so that I can have a reference to come back to when I have, you know, setup issues or something. So, thank God for good friends and
Amen
good
to
family.
that.
You know, like I say, guys,
We got steam, baby.
we got steam.
Yep. I can see it.
Well,
That didn't take long, folks.
yep, there we go.
You got
Yep.
steam coming. So put on your
10-pound weight.
10-pound weight. And there it goes.
There we go.
This thing will quiver.
Gauge will start. It's going to be a little bit because it's got to make up for the pressure, but this gauge will slowly start to come up. And when we're at 10 or 11, above 10,
Okay.
it's probably going to take longer than we want to sit here and wait, but
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
got to keep an eye on it.
Well, guys, this is part of the plan, you know. Bullets, guns, you can't eat them. You gotta know some other stuff. And
Can't fire a gun if you're starving to death.
yeah. So, stay prepped. We'll catch you as soon as this is done. All right.